promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna make a scene. Got lights, cameras, action, but I promise that I won't be seen.
My name is Theodore.
My name is Markeisha.
I'm about 8 years old.
You 8?
And I'm 10.
9 years.
I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and PTSD.
Okay,
do you recall what happened 6 years ago? Okay.
Yes.
I got taken away.
I don't really remember.
It felt like I was fighting a losing battle.
I felt sad, mad.
If there was one thing that you could tell a child going through the same thing,
wanted
what's the hardest part about it? Easiest part to deal with?
There was
a lot of obstacles, but I overcame them.
Children, just know that it will be alright.
Before I begin telling my story, I must give warning that this story may potentially trigger some people who have similar background stories and current situations. I cried reflecting on the past event. However, if we can find the strength to get through this story, you may find some valuable information throughout my story. If you don't think you can, I understand, and you don't have to endure the agony, guilt, or the emotions. Just remember you're strong and will come out victorious if you never give up. You can still leave questions in the comments, and I will try to help you even if you can't continue. Now I received an extended invitation to live with them until I can get back on my feet. His mother allowed us to use her SUV to go get some of my stuff. I knew everything wasn't going to fit, so I had to be selective about what I brought back with me, but I definitely had to bring Prince Kai Bingerson. More on him later. The trip was a couple days. We made some visits to people and said goodbyes, and I connected my friends to my other friends. Then we headed back to Michigan with Kai Bingerson in tow. So now I was in a new area, and I took the opportunity to get 2 jobs, one that child support could take the check, and the other to get my life back together to get my children. And I did just that. One job at a factory, and the other was at a service station. The factory job was from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The service station was 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. They were 15 minutes apart, and I didn't have much time between the two. But I was determined to keep going, getting things back together and figuring out how I could do it, considering how operating on 10 minutes of sleep a day prior. Before I got these jobs, and after we returned from Georgia, my friend's mother took me shopping to prepare for my first Michigan winter. She bought me boots, a winter coat, long sleeves, and pants. It was a lot like mother-daughter time, and I was beyond appreciative to her and her son for allowing I and myself to live there and how they looked after us. For Kai, she purchased a bigger cage for him, and we made it into 2 stories. Somehow I felt like this was good, but I got this feeling things would change like before and begin to fall back into depression. It felt worse than before, and I wanted to talk to the son about it, but I would just watch him, wondering if he was too occupied, so I didn't say anything. Then I decided to get a hotel room for a night. I needed to decide if the depression was bad enough to check into the hospital or if I just needed to be alone for a little bit. I just didn't feel like I should go back there. I didn't tell anyone but my homegirls in Georgia where I was. I went to buy alcohol and decided to soak in the tub. I was interested in a dangerous game again. My plan, even though I didn't perceive the danger, was drinking as I soaked in a tub. My homegirls thought it was a terrible idea and I shouldn't, so I promised not to. However, as I waited for the tub to fill, I drank. After it finished, I realized I drank 1 complete bottle of alcohol because I felt every ounce. I climbed into the tub and soaked. Never got to the second bottle because after I got out of the tub, I went to bed. The next morning, I went to my factory job with a headache. When I made it back home, I got fussed at in a lecture. I understood why, but when I mentioned depression, the response made me feel way worse than before, as if I should have slept in a tub of water.
I shine so bright, you might go